Hello, I'm Amy Christian and I work with Dwight Foster Public Library. And today for our adult craft bags, we are going to be making rock keychains. So if you pick up a kit at our library, at Dwight Foster Public Library, you can call if you'd like, or you can stop on in. We are open to the public now and you can stop on in and pick up a kit. You're going to have a rock keychain. This is all in the kit. Then you're going to have a paintbrush. You're going to have some Mod Podge. It'll be in a small container because you don't need a lot. And then you're going to have a map and you're going to have a piece of paper from a book. All right, you ready to get started? Okay, so here we start and we have our rock keychain and we have our paintbrush. I also have a scissors and a pen. A couple optional things if you'd like to. You could use a paint marker or a Sharpie if you'd like to decorate it. You can, in your kit that you'll get a piece of paper from a book that you can use, or you can use a map. I am going to use the map. That's what I've decided. So I'm just going to lay this down and go around my map, go around the keychain so I have an idea of the size. Then I'm going to cut that out. I don't know if you can see that. I think you can. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect, which is kind of nice. This is one of those projects that you don't have to be super precise on, and that's always a nice thing to do. You could use, if you wanted to, you could use tissue paper, you could use a cookbook, you could use anything that you think would be really great or would represent you. Now, something I'm going to do that's a little bit different is I'm actually going to wrap this, and I think I'm going to go like at an angle. All right, so I'm going to kind of do that. You can be as creative as you want with it. You could do little pieces. I mean, that's really up to you, but I am going to kind of do it at an angle. I'm going to turn this upside down and go around this way. I thought it'd be kind of fun to do at an angle, something different, so some of the rock will actually show. Now, you could do this with a rock of your own if you wanted to. You would have to have a drill to drill the hole. And from the different tutorials I saw, you'd always have to have a glass of water so you could dip it in every few seconds and keep drilling, and then dip it back in and keep drilling. But you can go through most rocks. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right. So as you can see, kind of how I have it. So now I'm going to take my glue. I'm going to take my glue, and the glue that I have in your kits that I'm using is a glue that is waterproof. So the key chain can get wet because, I mean, let's face it, I mean, we're going to get wet. We get caught in the rain, we get caught in snow, all that kind of good stuff. So that's going to happen to us. All right. So there we go. So then you want it to stick. So this is the first layer you're going to do, and you want it to kind of adhere. All right. And then what you want to do is get a little bit more glue. And this is why you don't have a lot of glue in your kit, because you really don't need a lot of glue. This is not a lot of glue you're going to use. I have, in different tutorials, found that it is easiest on the second one for you to go and take your finger and spread it around. It's going to dry clear, so don't worry about if it looks clouded. It's not. It won't be once it's dry. If you want to do the other side, you can do that. I think I will do that. I'm a little sticky, but that's okay. What you can do then with the paper that you do have is you can fold it right over, and you can actually cut out the same shape that you did before. I think I'll trace it. And then just cut that out. I mean, you could use wrapping paper if you wanted. You could, like I said, tissue paper. I'm trying to think what else you could use for paper. Just about anything, really. You could use cloth. That you can do fabric. Any of that will work for this project. So you just be as creative as you want. And again, I'm just doing mine at an angle because I just thought that seemed kind of fun and something different. And there's no right or wrong way to do it. And again, to adhere it, you want to take your paintbrush and go around the side just a little bit. And then I'm going to stick it on. And then I'm going to take my paintbrush again and just put it on top of the glue. And then I'm going to use my finger to go around. It's a little easier, I think, for your finger because you can kind of go around the edges and bend it. Get a little more glue for my edge. All right. And once you get it glued or where you want it to be, all right, so I have finished gluing the paper on that I want, and you're going to need to let it dry. So this is the easiest way and the quickest way to leave it so that it's drying and not touching anything. You could hang it on a hook if you wanted, but to me, a pen or a pencil and a glass, and you can just let it sit. And I would let this dry. I would say at least an hour before you do anything with it. I'm going to show you my next step. I'm going to take my paint marker and I'm going to draw on it and put my name or write some words, that kind of thing. And we'll do that next. All right, so now our keychain is dry and I'm going to do just a little bit more decorating on it. I'm actually going to take a Sharpie marker I'm going to write the word travel. I do love to travel. Then I'm going to take my paint marker and I'm just going to kind of accentuate, kind of give it a 3D kind of look. All right, so that's what I did. Okay, so you can do any kind of decorating you want. After I've done that though, I think I'm going to let it dry for just a little bit longer, just to let the paint set. So put it back on my pen, put it back in my cup, and then once it's dry, I'm going to take my Mod Podge again and I'm going to take a brush and go over the words that I wrote, just to make sure that it's really protected and it won't bleed at all. once it gets wet. So that is our tutorial on how to make a rock keychain. Okay, so we've completed our adult craft bag for the month, and it is a rock keychain. Again, if you decide that you'd like to use your own rock and not use one in our kit, you can totally do that. My biggest tip is, if you're going to use your own rock and you're going to drill a hole, is that you mark where you're going to drill and then make sure you have a glass of water sitting next to what you're doing. You can start drilling, but make sure your rock is wet first, and then drill a couple seconds, dip it back into the water, because you want to make sure that your drill does not get too hot. That's the biggest tip I have for you if you want to use your own rock. Otherwise, give us a call at Dwight Foster Public Library, and that number is 920-563-7790. Otherwise, you can always visit our website, which is fortlibrary.org. We'd love to have you come in and visit us. And again, my name is Amy Christian, and I work at Dwight Foster Public Library. Until next month for our next adult craft bag. Have a great day.